Hey guys, DJ here at Talk Tech Cards and Games. Today I wanted to go over the deck I played at our OTS this weekend, which was Lightsworn. I made top 4 this tournament, but I found out throughout the course of the tournament the list I built was, I had some poor choices in my main deck. I didn't really identify the right way the deck was played, and my extra deck was just abysmal. Just to kind of run down what I did wrong, I thought that the deck was trying to go second just OTK people. I found out after my first couple rounds that I actually just wanted to make a bunch of Omegas, which is an easy way to win the game. I also found out that with the extra deck I had built for the OTS, I didn't really have any way to kill like an Azure Eyes or a Blue Eyes in general. So the extra really needed a lot of work so that I could win that matchup because I was just every game I lost was the Blue Eyes. So I just kind of wanted to go over the list and talk about it. Just a little backstory for why I decided to play Lightsworn. I found out a couple days beforehand that I had access to a Minerva to borrow, and I thought that would be a ton of fun to play. I saw the 50 card deck that Johnny Nguyen, I don't know how to actually pronounce that last name, but whatever, had been playing at some regionals in an ARG, the 50 card list. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it, and I thought it was cool, and I thought, why do I need to play 50 cards? What do I need to play Judgment Dragon and Monster Reincarnation for? What do I need to play Metal Foes Fusion for? Like, this is all crap. So I decided just to play a 40 card list that was reminiscent of the old Perform Age Lightsworn list that had, Trick Clown and Damage Juggler and stuff. So I decided to go with that kind of strategy, and the deck worked out really well for me. So let's just get into the list. First we have 3 Raiden. Raiden is just absolutely key for this deck. You need tuners because you need to make some synchros to really get going with the deck. That's a lot of your power plays. Additionally, Raiden lets you mill cards before you go anywhere else, so it gives you an increased chance to hit some of your gas. As far as gas goes, we have 3 copies of Felice and 3 copies of Wolf. This is just Brick City, obviously. Drawing them sucks, but a lot of the time you're really playing off of the top of your deck rather than out of your hand, checking to see what you mill and stuff. So you need to have the full density of these guys to try to mill with Raidens, Minervas, etc. To try to get there. And you can operate with a decent number of just total bricks in your hand. So we have these guys, and they really open up the game. Like, you have a lot of situations where you just, let's say if you mill with a Minerva and hit like Felice plus Wolf, your Minerva has drawn 2 cards and created a level 8 Synchro. And that's just stone cold insane. We have a couple more Lightsworn just to increase our hits with Minerva, have enough recharge targets. We have 2 Lila and 2 Lumina. I think these are kind of flexible slots. I'm not even sure Lumina is actually that good. Michael was okay throughout the tournament for me, and that's the only level 7 Synchro that I use. Black Rose could also be decent, but I didn't play it. Lila's fine. It's a level 4. You just need level 4 bodies to get yourself going sometimes with a rank 4. It's also a spellcaster for Trapeze Magician. It also clears floodgates out for you, so one of my considerations was to play 3rd Lila and then play an Aaron to not run over, but to get rid of Azure Eyes and stuff. So that's definitely a consideration for the deck for the future. Next up we have 3 Fairy Tale Snow. This is the card that I think made this deck real, I guess if you want to call it real. Snow is another monster that we can special summon from our graveyard, but it's also built-in disruption. Whenever it's normal or special summoned, you get to Book of Moon an opponent's monster. And that's really good for dealing with various disruption effects. The special summon condition is just to remove 7 cards from your hand, field, or graveyard. So you can just use this multiple times a turn after you really get going. Then we have 2 copies of Perform Age Trick Clown. You can only use 1 Trick Clown a turn, so we're not maxing out on them. You do want the extra, wolf type effect, so we do play it. It's also very good with Brilliant Fusion, so you can get a monster into play off of your Brilliant, but still leave yourself with maximum Lightsworn in your deck to hit off of Minerva. Next we have 2 Goblinberg. Like I already said, a lot of times you really just need to make your first rank 4 to really get the deck going. Goblinberg does that for you, and it's searchable by Reinforcement of the Army, so we have 2 copies of this guy. I never really wanted a 3rd one. Every time I drew the card it was fine though, so it might be something that I would test out in the future. Additionally, it does just normal summon into a level 8 Synchro sometimes, which is great. We have 2 copies of Garnet. Garnet sucks, but I mean, we have to play 2 with all our random mill in our deck, plus Pot of Desires, so we need our Brilliant Fusions to be live, so there's 2 copies of Garnet. Next we have our Fusion spells with our Undercover Fusion deck with 3 Brilliant and 3 Instant. These are just both such key cards for the deck. Like I said a million times already, you just need to make a rank 4. That's how you get going. Brilliant Fusion is going to give us a body to make a rank 4 with, 2 normal summons, and leftover, what's his name, Seraphonite to either use for snow or to do something else with. We have various options with it. So this card basically puts a body in play, gives us an extra floating card, and gives us 2 normal summons. This card is just great. Instant Fusion is, I think a lot of people will see it as a 3 of in the deck and go, what? Because you're not going to play more than 1 target in the extra deck. But what it does for this deck is just way too powerful. I mean, this card being either like a 1-card rank 4, which is fine, that's how it happens in a lot of decks, but it doesn't happen with the speed that it does in this deck. But the regularity that this is just a 1-card Satframe Omega is just so good. Like, pay 1,000 life points, special summon 1 Omega is just too powerful of an effect to not max out on. I know that they'll be dead sometimes, but like I've already covered it. We can deal with a decent number of bricks in our hand, and in some situations you just use this, make a blank node to make your first rank 4 to make Minerva and get going. Next we have 3 Pot of Desires. I don't really want to sit here and justify this card. It's one of the best legal cards, if not the best legal card right now. You play 3 of them, you accept that you mill your deck. We're going to mill this to our deck turn 1 anyway, so no big deal. Then we have 3 Solar Recharge. More of the same, except this one can mill us wolves and stuff, which is great. No, you stay down there, Sparky. 2 charges of the Light Brigade, and a Rhoda. These guys both search out important combo pieces, especially Raiden. Rhoda can search out, what's the name, Goblinberg, and Charge can search out Outs the Floodgates. So, very important. Charge being able to hit. Wolves and stuff is just really powerful. Then we have Foolish Burial, which also will just special summon a wolf or something. Then we have Soul Charge. This card is just insane. You're gonna, if you make like 2 Omegas first and then you play this, then you get to just make whatever else you want. And last we have Upstart Goblin, because why wouldn't we? Moving on to the extra deck, I think this one's a little bit better than the one that I used. So we'll just go through. I have 1 Nodin and 1 Seraphonite, even though we could use more targets for both Instant Fusion and Brilliant Fusion. We do just have 1 of each. We also have 1 copy of Daigusto Emerald, so I feel like this could come up. It hasn't yet, where you put the Nodin back in. That being said, I don't know that Emerald is actually the best card in the extra deck. We've kicked around using Ouroboros in this slot as well, but it's Emerald for now. We have the Utopia package, Lightning, and regular Utopia. They're just both key. Castell, Trapeze Magician, which is important for setting up OTKs. Dweller, I made Blind Dweller a lot, just because there's not another rank 4 you're going to just throw out on the board. Debatably, you can win a second Dweller, I guess, with that knowledge. 1 Minerva. I only had access to 1. If I had access to a second, I would play it, but this is what I had. 2 copies of Satframe Omega. This is really secretly an Omega deck, if you didn't realize. I think I already made that fairly clear, but our goal is just to make some Omegas turn 1 a lot of the time. One of the big changes is Colossal Fighter. I did have Colossal in it first, and he turns out to be extremely key. He gets big enough to run over Blue Eyes based on the number of warriors in your graveyard. He has made me consider if I should have the Aaron in my deck just to up my warrior count a little bit, so it's easier to get 3, so he's at 3,100 attack. 3,000 is good enough to clear attack mode Blue Eyes, but excuse me, I'm feeling pretty under the weather. The defense mode of Azure Eyes is especially hard to kill for us. We have Scrap Dragon. Scrap Dragon. This guy has gone back and forth between being himself and being Stardust Spark. I decided that I would just side Spark inside Floodgates, so I decided to main Scrap Dragon since I can't control when I'm going game 1, and I can bring Spark in when I control going first. We have 1 Michael. Just too good not to play. I thought about playing Black Rose, like I said, but Michael is just great. There was one point in the tournament where I wished I had a second Michael, but I don't think it's worth playing 2 anyway. And then our last extra card, and this one actually sucks, but it does everything we need it to, is Gigantic Castle. It makes an out to Azure Eyes out of your Seraphonite, which you normally only remove for Snow. It's just like an extra card that you remove for Snow, that and the Brilliant Fusion. This guy, being in my extra deck, makes it so he turns into an out to defense mode Azure Eyes, which is like... It's so bad that that's what we're at, but that's what we needed to do. I'm willing to play a 14-card extra deck so that I can actually win that matchup. So there's the list. I'm not going to talk about my side because it's been taken apart 9 times since the tournament. All I'll say is I'm signing Spark and Floodgates. I don't know if that's actually good, but that's what the world has come to for me. So there's the deck. I'm more than happy to talk about it down below. I know it's not really budget friendly, seeing as I played a Minerva, but it's a really fun deck, so I wanted to talk about it a little bit. That being said, I think you can probably build the deck without the Minerva. You just need to play another rank 4 in that slot. So it's worth a try if you just really like Lightsworn, though I'd probably recommend playing a Judgment Dragon version if you don't, get to play with Minerva. But yeah, so I want to do this for, playing it in a tournament rather than just a weekly deck tech video, because it doesn't seem really fair to be like, oh, you guys should try this deck out, when it's just totally unfeasible for 99% of people to build it. So I will probably do another deck video within the next couple days after this gets posted, so there will be something a little more either interesting or, feasible to build. So there's that. Let me know what you guys think down below. I am actually very actively working on this deck, so I'm interested in seeing any suggestions you guys have down in the comments. I'd be more than happy to talk about it. I'm sure I missed something. I've played a total of about 25 games with the deck now. That's it. So, I'm very interested to work on the deck and collaborate with anyone who has any cool ideas. Thanks a ton for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.